Captain Potato is taking an early lead, powering ahead with impressive speed. Cedric from Team Life for Speed is hot on his tail, looking to make a move. Oye and Nukembokum are in a tight battle for that third spot, trying to get an edge as they enter the first turn. It's all about strategy now. Who's going to make that daring pass? Haha, the track is definitely tight. Gonna be some fierce racing. And love the energy from you all. Let's go. Bates for the win. Automobile dashing. Away. N29 Kia has successfully overtaken Bringing Jeep, advancing to 5. Meanwhile, Tenkamin in 704 has made a strong move to 7, pushing Barbado from Team Blast back to Pate. Additionally, Bulinator and Shorter Dave both climbed to P9 after overtaking 81 1792. Kamikaze 38 and Romanance have successfully moved up to 16 after overtaking Waintra 94. In P18, Snicker 515 and SBS Tume 78 have advanced getting past the gentleman. Now there's a tight battle for P18 as Snicker 515 and SBS Tume 78 in their Ferrari F50 GT are vying for position against the gentleman, who is in a Dawa 962 LM. The race dynamics are heating up in that section of the track. The gentleman has made significant progress, advancing from P18 to P8. He executed a clean overtake on Tankamina 7-hole-4. Showcasing impressive speed and strategy. This rapid ascent positions him well within the top contenders as the race continues to unfold. Looks like Cedric is feeling the pressure. Face with tears of joy, but hey, anything can happen in racing. Those tours are really bringing their A game though. And don't worry, even if you lose some places, there's always a chance to come back. God love those pit strategies. Who's your pick for the win? Kamikaze 38 and Romanams have successfully moved into position 15 after overtaking Duff Dad and Ujas John 7. This maneuver demonstrates solid teamwork and strategic racing from both drivers as they navigate the track. The battle for mid-pack positions is heating up. Bulinator and Shorty Thee, in their Ferrari F50 GT, are locked in a tight battle with Waziri Sky and Deplorable Apple, who are driving a Door 962 Elm for Pen. The competition is fierce as they jostle for position. Meanwhile, in the fight for Team, Kamikaze 38 and Romance, also in a Ferrari 50 GT, are vying against Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes, who is in another Door 962 LM. The three cars are closely matched with no clear advantage yet. Additionally, Issy 1212 has made a noteworthy move, advancing to P18 by successfully overtaking both Snooker 5 and 15 and SBS Tsuma 78, showcasing some impressive driving skills. Waynesha 94 has made a notable advancement, now holding 16 after successfully overtaking both Duff Dad and Oyus John 7. The battle for this position remains intense, with Waynesha 94 in the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, while Duff Dad and Oyus 7 are driving the Dower 962 LM. The dynamics between these three cars are crucial as they navigate the track, with Waynesha 94 looking to defend his position, while Duff Dad and Oyus John 7 aim to reclaim it. The gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sir Ironbot by 4 seconds. Currently, the gentleman is in 4th position and gaining ground rapidly on the two ahead. As we watch, Neotexum and Sir Ironbot are maintaining their pace but will need to respond to the gentleman's surge if they want to defend their positions. The race dynamics are heating up as the gentleman sets his sights on overtaking them. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sir Ironbot by 2.5 seconds. Currently, Neotexum holds the 2nd position while Sir Ironbot is closely following in 3rd. The dynamics among these three cars are intensifying as the gentleman continues to gain ground. It will be interesting to see if he can execute an overtake soon. Waynesha 94 is currently holding on to 17. In the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, but Sniku 5, 150 and SBS Tsuma 78, both in the Ferrari 50 GTs, are applying significant pressure. Sniku 515 is making a move on the inside, attempting to overtake Waynesha 94 by a bit. Meanwhile, SBS Tsuma 78 is closely trailing, ready to capitalize on any mistakes. The gap between these three cars is minimal as they approach the next corner. This battle for position is heating up with overtaking maneuvers expected any moment now. Waintra 94 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners has made an impressive move to position 16, successfully overtaking Duff Dad and Use John 7 in the process. The maneuver was executed on the inside line as they approached turn 5, showcasing excellent timing and precision. Meanwhile, Duff Dad and Use John 7 have dropped back, now in position 17 and 18 respectively. The battle for mid-pack positions continues to heat up with more overtakes anticipated. N29 Kia has successfully moved up to power after overtaking both Koki Beninati and Paulo Costanin. In the midfield, Gak XB in a Ferrari 288 DTO, Evoluzione, is engaged in a close battle for 15 against Duff Dad and Yuzhong 7, who are both driving the Dawa 962 LN6. Meanwhile, Waintra 94, also in a Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, is involved in a three-way fight for 17 against Nico Five and SBS Sumi 78, both driving Ferrari 50 GTS. The racing dynamics continue to heat up as positions are fiercely contested. The gentleman has significantly reduced the gap to Neotexum and Sir Ironbot, now trailing by just 3.4 seconds. Neotexum is maintaining a steady pace, but it looks like the gentleman is gaining momentum. Sir Ironbot remains in the mix, holding its position but will need to keep an eye on the gentleman's advances. The dynamics between these three cars are starting to shape up as they approach the next turn. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sir Ironbot by 2.5 seconds. This positions him closely behind both drivers as they navigate the track. Meanwhile, Neotexum maintains a slight edge, but will need to defend against the gentleman's approach. Sir Ironbot is also in the mix, keeping a vigilant watch on both competitors as they head into the next corner. The dynamics among these three cars are intensifying. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sir Ironbot by 2.7 seconds. Currently, he is in 4th position and gaining momentum as they approach a tight corner. Neotexum maintains 3rd, while Sir Ironbot holds on to 2nd. The top position remains the Speedman, who appears to be staying consistent ahead. The racing dynamics are shifting as the gentleman continues to apply pressure on the leaders. Duff Dad and Illusion 7 are currently neck and neck in their dour 962 LMs, battling fiercely for position 16. Meanwhile, Wayne 94, in the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, is not far behind, maintaining close proximity as they navigate the track. Further up the field, the gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sirironbot by 2.4 seconds. This could lead to a potential overtaking opportunity if he maintains this pace. The dynamics of the race are intensifying as positions shift and gaps narrow. Wayne 94 has advanced to position 16, after successfully overtaking Duff Dad and EUG7. The gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sirironbot by 3.3 seconds as he continues to push forward in the race. The gentleman has significantly reduced the gap to Neotexum and Sirironbot, bringing it down by 2.2 seconds. Currently, the gentleman is in third place, with Neotexum holding second and Sirironbot still leading. The dynamics in the top three are heating up as the gentleman continues to gain ground. Gigaxp has successfully moved up to 14 after overtaking Okayoki 3. The battle between Gigaxp's Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione and Okayoki 3's Dower 962L is heating up as they jockey for position. Meanwhile, Diaconcho and Jan Drago are gaining on Junon and Maya, reducing the gap by 2.3 seconds. The dynamics in these positions are shifting quickly as the race progresses. Gigaxp had advanced to 14 after a successful overtake on Okayoki 3.t. Meanwhile, there's a tight battle for P18 among Sniku 515, SBS Suma 78, and Lord of the Jungle, with all three cars closely matched in speed. In the meantime, the gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sirironbot by 2.8 seconds, indicating an imminent challenge for their positions. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Neotexum and Sirironbot by 61.9 seconds. As we continue into this segment of the race, the gentleman is positioned in third place, with Neotexum currently holding second, while Sirironbot maintains the lead at this point. The dynamics of the race are shifting as the gentleman gains momentum, showcasing impressive speed and strategy. Hey, someone. Welcome back to the pit stop. Checker flag ready to rev those engines and enjoy some hilarious AR racing with us. Let's go. Party popper. Wayne 94. In the Ferrari 288. GTO Evoluzione is currently in a tight battle for 16th position, with Duff Dad and John 7, who are both driving the Dower 962 LM. Wayne 94 is holding his ground as they enter the first corner, but Duff Dad is looking to make a move on the inside, trying to gain an advantage here. John 7 is closely tailing them, waiting for any opportunity to overtake. As they exit the corner, Wayne 94 manages to maintain the position, but Duff Dad is still within striking distance, and John 7 is not far behind either. The race dynamics are heating up as they approach the next straight, which could allow for a slipstream effect. Let's see if any of them can secure that crucial overtaking maneuver in the upcoming turns. Neo-Texum currently holds the second position, while Sir Ironbot is just ahead in first. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to just 2.1 seconds. This could set up an interesting battle if he continues to gain speed. The dynamics are shifting as they approach the next turn. Okayoki 3 has successfully moved up to 13 after overtaking Gix by Dana. The two drivers were engaged in a close battle, with Okayoki 3 piloting a Dawa 962 Elm, while Gexby was behind the wheel of a Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione. The maneuver was executed cleanly, showcasing both drivers' skills. The gentleman has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Neo-Texum and Sir Ironbot by 2.5 seconds. As they approach the next turn, the gentleman is maintaining a steady pace, while Neo-Texum and Sir Ironbot appear to be battling for position. This could set up for a potential overtake if the gentleman can keep this momentum. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is holding their positions as they navigate the track. Code 3 and Nukembukem are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Sidrek from Team Live for speed by 48.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Bobardo is also gaining ground, closing in on Greninja with a reduction of 2.4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push for position. Hey someone! Party Popper, welcome back to the stream. Buckle up, we're about to dive into some AI racing madness. Let's see if these bots can outpace each other like it's the last lap. Racing car. Dashing away. Grenier is now just 2.3 seconds behind N29PA, steadily closing the gap. In the mid-pack, Sniku 515 and SBS Tuma 78 have successfully overtaken Waintra 94 to move into 17. This has sparked a battle for that position, as all three remain closely matched. Snuka 550 and SBS Tuma 78 are in a Ferrari 50 GT, while Waintra 94 is driving a Ferrari 288 Evoluzidone, making for an interesting dynamic as they jostle for track position. The gentleman is now just 6.4 seconds behind New Texan and Sirarimbot, making significant progress in the standings. Koki Beninity and Paulo Costanin are also gaining on Cedric, reducing their gap by 3.2 seconds. Additionally, Lord of the Jungle has made a notable move up to 18th place, overtaking both Snicker 515 and SBS Tuma 78 in the process. Someone said, "Hey Amy, what's your favorite car?" Oh, that's a tough one. I have a soft spot for the Tevere Zadera Speed 12. It's just so wild and powerful. What about you? Cedric is currently leading but is being pursued closely by Koki Beninity and Paulo Costanin, who have reduced the gap to 2.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Duff Dad and Yuya John 7 have successfully moved up to 15th position, after overtaking Gigax, but the race dynamics are shifting as positions are changing. Rizaldi Adha and C87 in their Dower 962 LM are currently locked in a tight battle with Kamikaze 38 and Romanovs, who are driving the Ferrari E50 GT. As they approach the final corner, Rizaldi Adha attempts an overtake on C87, but Kamikaze 38 takes advantage of the situation, slipping past both of them to take P12. Romance is right on his tail, looking for an opportunity to challenge for that position as well. The dynamics are shifting rapidly here at the back of the pack. N29 Kia has gained a position, now in 5 after successfully overtaking Green Jet. Following that move, Green Jet from team also No Name Racing has countered by moving up to 6, overtaking Bobado. Meanwhile, Bobado has responded by advancing to 7 after getting past Tenkaminen. After getting past Tenkaminen 7-4, positions are shifting rapidly as the race progresses. Unzerious Guy and Deplorable are currently in a tight battle for the lead. with Okayoki 3 rapidly closing the gap. The distance has now shrunk significantly, putting the pressure on both leaders. Meanwhile, we see Okayoki 3 making strategic moves, and if this pace continues, an overtake could be imminent. The race dynamics are shifting as we approach the next corner. It's going to be crucial for all drivers to manage their lines effectively. Snake 515 and SBS Sume 78 in the Ferrari F50 GT are engaged in a close battle for position 18, with Issy 1212 driving the Dower 962 Elm. As they approach the hairpin turn, Snaku 515 makes a bold move on the inside, attempting to overtake SBS Sume 78. However, Sume 78 maintains the racing line and holds their position. Issy 1212 is closely trailing behind, looking for an opportunity to capitalize on any mistakes from the Ferrari drivers. The tension is building as they head into the next straightaway, with all three cars remaining within inches of each other. Crucial and Jon Drago have made significant progress, closing the gap to Rizaldi Adha and Sil87 by 137.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Sil87 are also gaining on Dranon and Maya, reducing their distance by 2.4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting, with Crucial and Jon Drago in hot pursuit of Rizaldi Adha and Sil87 once again, maintaining that impressive closing pace. Rizaldi Adha and Sil87 have made significant progress, reducing the gap to Dranon and Maya to 2.9 seconds. They are clearly gaining momentum as we observe their improved cornering speeds and acceleration on the straights. The dynamic between these four cars is heating up as they approach the next sector. Brainiep and Babardo are locked in a tight battle for 6. Braninjep holds a slight edge as they approach the hairpin, but Babardo is right on his tail, looking for an opportunity to overtake. They exit the corner nearly side by side, with Braninjep maintaining position. Babardo is now drafting behind him on the straight, getting closer. It's a crucial moment as they head into the next turn. Will Babardo attempt a late dive? The tension builds as they navigate through the next few corners, both drivers demonstrating skillful control. Right? I thought we'd see more shenanigans. These AI drivers are keeping it surprisingly clean. Maybe they're all on their best behavior today. There's tears of joy. Aetion 1792 has successfully reduced the gap to Tenkamen 704 by 2.1 seconds, indicating a strong pace from Aetion 1792 as they aim for a potential overtaking opportunity. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Ada and Seal 87 are also making progress, closing in on Drinon and Maya by 2.4 seconds, suggesting they are working together to catch up. The gentleman has gained ground, moving up to P25 after overtaking both Bioquinshaw and Yuan Drago, showcasing effective racecraft. Bardo from Team Blast is currently engaged in a tight battle with Tenkamen and 704 for the 7th position. Both cars are closely matched, with Bardo attempting to make a move on the inside at turn 4. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Ada has made significant progress, now sitting in 22nd after overtaking Shinigami and Amy, who are falling back in the standings. T87 is also up to P22, capitalizing on the situation. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits. The gentleman is currently gaining on 13 Shinigami and Amy, reducing the time difference by 63.8 seconds. As they head into the next turn, the gentleman appears to be leveraging a burst of speed, tightening the gap even further. Amy is maintaining her position but needs to defend against any potential overtakes. The dynamics are shifting as they approach a straightaway where the gentleman could make a move. Rizaldi Ada and Seal 87 are gaining ground on Junon and Maya, reducing the gap by 3 seconds. Meanwhile, the gentleman is also closing in on 13 Shinigami and Amy, cutting the distance by 2.6 seconds. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these pairs continue to battle for position. N29KA is making significant progress, rapidly closing the gap on Okayoki 3 by 596.2 seconds. Meanwhile, GXB is also gaining on both Bulinator and Short ET, reducing the distance by 561.2 seconds. In a tighter battle, Greninja is intensifying the chase, now just 2 seconds behind Huggedfree and Lucan Bokum. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push to improve their positions. Issy 1212 has made an impressive move, overtaking 4 cars and advancing to 14. Brionator and Shorty are in pursuit, reducing the gap to Issy 1212 by 9.4 seconds. Meanwhile, N29PA is gaining on both Rizaldi Adha and Seal 87, closing in by 9.1 seconds. The competition is tightening as drivers push their limits. Three from Team Racing Potatoes is now just 1.5 seconds behind Rosarius Guy and Deplorable Apple, continuing to close the gap. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and SBS Suma 78 have advanced to 17th position after successfully overtaking Lord of the Jungle. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions change. Hugget Free and Nukambukum have significantly reduced the gap to 10 Kamen in 7-4, now trailing by just 50.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Winzerius Guy and Deplorably Bull have successfully moved up to 8th position after overtaking Okayoki 3 Tuate. The race dynamics are tightening as these competitors push for better placements. Gladiator and Shorter TA are rapidly closing in on 81-17-92, reducing the gap by 10.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Ision 1212 has successfully overtaken 81-17-92, moving up to P13.0. The competition remains tight as Bulinator and Shorty at T continue their pursuit. Ilquinshaw and Yuan Drago are making significant progress, now just 65.8 seconds behind Drinone and Maya de Stukshao. Meanwhile, Lobato is also making moves, closing the distance to Grinjin by 2.8 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as both pairs of cars seem to be gaining momentum on their respective targets. Kamikaze 38 and Romanovs are currently holding onto their positions, but are being pressured by Snakufi 115 and SBS Tsuma 78, who have reduced the gap to 2.9 seconds. Meanwhile, a fierce battle for P23 is unfolding between 13 Shinigami in a rough TTR2 and Amy alongside the gentleman in a Dawa 962 LM. The competition is tight as these two cars jostle for position on the track. The AI-driven car, 13 Shinigami, has just executed a successful overtake on the gentleman, moving into position P22. The maneuver was clean, showcasing effective use of speed and timing. The 13 Shinigami is now focusing on closing the gap to the next competitor ahead. 13 Shinigami has taken a slight lead over Amy in the battle for P2, utilizing the rough Tia-Tia-Tia's agility to navigate through the corners effectively. The gentleman in the Dower 962 LN is applying pressure from behind, trying to find an opportunity to overtake. As they approach the straight, Amy attempts to make a move on 13 Shinigami, but is held back as the cars enter a tight turn. The gentleman is now positioned less than a car length behind, ready to capitalize on any mistakes. On the exit of the corner, 13 Shinigami maintains the lead, while Amy's rough Jetta 2 is showing excellent acceleration, closing the gap. The gentleman remains vigilant, waiting for his chance to shoot past either competitor. The battle for P22 continues to heat up as they approach the next series of turns. Kamikaze 38 and Romance had significantly decreased the gap to Isione 1212 by 20 seconds, making a strong push for a top position. Hiryu no Kemba Kenpa advanced to 5 after successfully overtaking Bobardo. At Moya Vels was Yui. Additionally, Aetion 1792 has climbed to P13, overtaking both Bulinator and Short Turtle in the process. The race is tightening up as positions shift. Aetion 1792 is currently leading, but has Bulinator and Shorter T gaining ground, reducing the gap to 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 and Romanovs are also making progress, cutting down their deficit to Isione 212 by 2.5 seconds. The dynamics are tightening across multiple positions as these drivers push for better placements. Currently, Duff Dad and EU Johnseven have advanced to P7 after successfully overtaking Wazirius Guy and Deplorable Apple. Meanwhile, Grinyeb has made a move to P9 by overtaking Okayo P3. The race is intensifying with these strategic maneuvers. Grinyeb is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Gex by 11.5 seconds. Aetion 1792 has successfully moved up to P11 after executing overtakes on both Bulinator and Shorter T. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers continue their pushes for better positions. Kamikaze 38 and Roman Falsga gaining on Wazirius Guy and Deplorable, reducing the gap by 69.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and SBS Tuma 78 have successfully moved up to 16 after overtaking Ision 1212. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions change. Duff Dad and EU's John 7 have successfully moved into 5 after overtaking Bobado. Meanwhile, Rezel D Adha and Sealy 7 have advanced to P19 by getting past N29 Kia. In a minor shift, N29 Kia has climbed to P20 after overtaking ISI 1212 Toro. The positions are shifting rapidly as drivers continue to strategize their moves on the track. Waintra 94 has made a significant move, advancing to P5 after successfully overtaking Geeks.Tal. Geeks then responded quickly, moving up to 6 by passing Grinajeb from team also No Name Racing. This left Grinajeb in 7, as they managed to overtake Bobado, solidifying their position. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers jockey for better placements on the track. Geeks and Grinajeb are locked in a tight battle for 6th place, with Gig XB in the Ferrari 288 DTO Evoluzione closely trailing Grinajeb in the DAR 962 LN. The two cars are exchanging positions, showcasing impressive cornering skills. In the lower ranks, Junon and Maya have successfully moved up to 23rd position after executing an overtaking maneuver on the gentleman from No Name Racing. The dynamics in both these segments of the race are heating up as drivers push their limits. Kunshaw and Jan Drago are making significant progress, quickly closing the gap on the gentleman by 58.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Bobado is also gaining on Gig X, narrowing the distance by 2.6 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these contenders push their limits to catch up to their rivals. N29 Kia has just taken a tight turn, but ISI 112 is gaining momentum, now only 1.5 seconds behind. The gap continues to shrink as they head into the next straightaway. Meanwhile, Car 55X has managed to overtake G33, moving up to 4th place. The race dynamics are shifting with these strategic maneuvers, and we'll see how it unfolds in the next few moments. Wayne Trinity 4 in the Ferrari 288 DTO Evoluzione is closely battling Grinajeb in the Dauer 962 Elm for 5th place. The two are neck and neck as they approach a tight corner, with Wayne Trey 94 attempting an inside maneuver but not quite making it stick. Meanwhile, the gentleman is gaining ground on both Drenone and Maya, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. This positioning sets up an exciting potential overtake if the gentleman maintains this pace. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits. The gentleman has significantly reduced the gap to Drenone and Maya, now trailing by just 2.1 seconds. This could set up a potential overtake if he maintains this pace. Meanwhile, Drenone and Maya are holding their positions but will need to respond quickly to the approaching gentleman. The dynamics in the front pack are tightening as they navigate through the upcoming turns. Captain Potato continues to close in on Cydric, now just 2.3 seconds behind. Grenin Jeb has successfully made a move, advancing to 5 after overtaking Waintra 94. Meanwhile, a tight battle is occurring for P9 among Gexper, Budinator, and Shorty T. GXB is piloting the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, while Bulator and Short Dirt at Eat are both in Ferrari F50G, creating competitive dynamic in this section of the race. Tenkaman in 7-4 has successfully moved into Pen after overtaking Gex, Betdot. The maneuver was clean, utilizing a late braking technique into the first corner. This places Tenkaman in 704 in a stronger position as the race progresses. Rizaldi, Adha, and Sela D7 are locked in a tight battle for 19th position, with each car trying to outmaneuver the others on the track. The gentleman has successfully moved up to 23rd place after overtaking both Dranon and Maya, showcasing some impressive racing skills. The competition is heating up as the drivers push their limits. Someone said, "Hey Amy, who do you think will win?" It's tough to tell. The drivers in the Tevra Sabira Speed 12 are looking strong up front. But anything can happen in racing. It definitely keeps things exciting. What do you think? Bilbado has just moved into 6th after successfully overtaking Waintra 94. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 and Romanovs have both advanced to 13, overtaking Wuzirius Guy and Deplorable Evil. In addition, Isiona 1212 is gaining on N29 Kia, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. Okayoki 3 has significantly reduced the distance to GigX, now only 5.5 seconds behind. As they approach a tight turn, it will be crucial for Okayoki 3 to maintain speed and find the right line to capitalize on any potential mistakes from GigX. Meanwhile, the rest of the field remained relatively stable, with no major position changes noted in the last few moments. The focus remains on this developing battle between Okayoki 3 and GigXB as they navigate through the upcoming corners. Pago 3 and Nukembabokem are making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Kokibaninity and Polokossanin by 2.2 seconds. They're maintaining a strong pace through the corners, which could lead to an overtaking opportunity soon. Kokibaninity and Polokossanin will need to defend their position as the pair closes in. The tension is building in this mid-pack battle. Shinigami is currently in a strong position, maintaining the lead, while Amy is rapidly closing in on Issy 1212, reducing the gap by an impressive 85.3 seconds. Meanwhile, GigXB and Okayoki 3 are engaged in a tight battle for 12th place, with GigXB in the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione, and Okayoki 3 piloting the Dower 962 LM. The competition is heating up as the drivers navigate the track, showcasing their skills. SNIKU 515 and SBS Sumi 78 are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Azirius Guy and Deplorably Apple by 10.2 seconds. This is a notable shift in dynamics as they continue to push hard. The two AI cars are working in tandem, showcasing effective drafting techniques that appear to be paying off. They are now within striking distance, increasing the pressure on the current leaders. Haha, I mean, that would certainly spice things up. But can we just keep it civil for now? We don't want to see everyone crashing out just yet. Face with tears of joy. Uinator and Shorter TE have successfully moved into Pate, executing a clean overtake on Wayne Tray 94. Both drivers are still engaged in a tight battle for that position. Uinator and Shorter TE are piloting the Ferrari F50 GT, while Wayne Tray 94 is in the Ferrari 288 GTO Evoluzione. This matchup highlights a thrilling duel between these two iconic vehicles as they jockey for position. The dynamics of their driving styles are becoming increasingly apparent as the race progresses. Kamikaze 38 and Romance have significantly closed in on OK 3, reducing the gap to 9.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and SBS Tsuma 78 are also making progress, cutting the distance to Geeks by 7.5 seconds. Hypercars 3 and Nukembukum are tightening the race with Kokiba 90 and Pola Kostanin, decreasing their separation to just 2.5 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as the cars move closer together on the track. Duffdad and Illusion 7 have indeed encountered difficulties, dropping back to P22 tow. Meanwhile, Lazaldi Adha and C87 have made a successful move, advancing to P18 by overtaking N2090 at all. N2090A has responded by moving up to P19, having overtaken ISI 1212. The positions are shifting quickly as the race progresses. Kamikaze 38 and Romanos are now gaining significant ground on Waintra 94, reducing the gap to 10.1 seconds. Bobado has successfully moved up to 5 after overtaking Grenijib. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these drivers push their limits. Kamikaze 38 and Roman Thar maintaining their pace and continuing to apply pressure on Waintra 94. Haha, right? That was a total oof moment. Those crashes are part of the chaos that makes this so much fun. Let's see if we can get some epic comebacks, Rasilov. The gentleman is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Geeks by 522.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Hugo 3 and Nukembukin have successfully advanced to P3, overtaking Kokibaninti and Polo Kostanin in the process. Additionally, Bullinator and Shorty TE are now in 7 after overtaking 81 1792. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change rapidly. Grenijib is currently in 4 after executing a clean overtake on Bobado. Bobado, now in 5, managed to pass both Bullinator and Shorty T, who have dropped to 6-8. Bullinator and Shorty TA have overtaken 81 1792, securing their positions in the race. The dynamics are shifting as cars jockey for position. Blue Xeria Sky and Deplorably Apple have advanced to P11 after successfully overtaking Snaku 515 and SBS Suma 78. Tau. This has pushed Snaku 515 and SBS Suma 78 back to P12, as they also managed to overtake Koki Bininity and Paula Kosanin in the process. The positions are shifting quickly as the race continues to develop. Wayne 4 has advanced to 15, after successfully overtaking both Resaldia Atta and C87. Following that, Resaldia Atta and C87 have moved up to 16, overtaking N2090i. N2090 has now secured 17 by overtaking Koki Beninati and Paula Kostanin. The positions are changing quickly as the race progresses. Greeniet has made a significant move, reducing the gap to Huggo3 and Nukembakum by 2.1 seconds. This positions Groningen in a strong spot as we approach the next turns. Huggo3 maintains a defensive line while Nukembakum is looking to hold steady ahead. The battle for position is intensifying as Groningen gains momentum. Duffdad and Eusjon7 have successfully moved up to P21, executing a clean overtake on Koki Binati and Paula Kostanin. The maneuver was smooth, showcasing their strategic racing skills as they navigated through the corners. They now look set to capitalize on this momentum as the race progresses. Koki Beninati and Paula Kostanin have made significant progress, reducing the gap to 13 Shinigami and Amy by 8.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Janone and Maya have successfully moved up to P22, after overtaking both 13 Shinigami and Amy. The competition is intensifying as Koki Beninati and Paula Kostanin continue to close in on the leaders. GXP has successfully advanced to position 18, executing clean overtakes on both Resaldi Adha and Sil-87. Meanwhile, Koki Beninati and Paula Kostanin have made gains as well, moving up to position 23 after overtaking 13 Shinigami and Amy. The race is showing some dynamic changes in positions. Crenshaw and Ewan Drago have advanced to P25, successfully overtaking both Koki Beninati and Paula Kostanin. The battle for positions is intensifying as they push forward in the pack. AC 1212 has significantly reduced the gap to M29 Kia, now trailing by just 3.9 seconds. This could lead to a potential overtake if this pace continues. Meanwhile, N29 Kia appears to be holding steady, but may need to find extra speed to fend off the advancing ISI 12-12-12. The dynamics are shifting as we approach the next corner. Duff Dad and Hughes John 7 are making significant progress, with both cars reducing the gap to the gentleman by 2.5 seconds. Hughes John 7 is currently positioned in third, while Duff Dad is right behind in fourth. This dynamic duo is clearly working together to apply pressure on the gentleman, who holds the second position. The racing line is tight as they navigate through the next corner, and it appears an overtake could be imminent. ISI 12-12 has made significant progress, reducing the gap to N29 Kia by 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Koki Benenati and Paulo Costantini are also gaining ground on Bio Crenshaw and Juan Drago, closing that gap by 4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push for better positions. Neo Texum and Sirairanbot are rapidly closing in on Koki Benenati and Paula Costantini, reducing the gap by 393.2 seconds. Meanwhile, N29 Kia has advanced to 15, after successfully overtaking Snicker 515 and SBS Tsuma 78. The dynamics in the middle of the pack are shifting as teams adjust their strategies. Aetiom 1792 is now in 6th after successfully overtaking Tenka Southern who has dropped to 7. Tenka managed to make a move on Bulinator and Short TV, gaining position and placing them in Pate. Meanwhile, Koki Benenati and Paula Costantini are closing the gap on Bio Crenshaw and Juan Drago, reducing the distance by 3.3 seconds. The battle for positions is intensifying as the race progresses. Lord of the Jungle has significantly reduced the gap to Kamikaze 38 and Romance, now just 30.1 seconds behind. Meanwhile, Greninja is making a move on Huggard Free and Nukembakum, closing in by 2.1 seconds. In the mid-pack, Bulinator and Shorter T have successfully overtaken Kamikaze 38 and Roman Fevs, moving up to Pen. The dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. Wayne Trendy 4 has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Buenator and Shorty Thay by 63.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Koki Beninati and Paulo Costanin are also gaining ground on Buconshaw and Johan Drago, closing their distance by 5.3 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as both groups are showing strong pace. Koki Beninati and Paulo Costanin are significantly closing the gap to Buconshaw and Johan Drago, reducing the distance by 2.9 seconds. As they push forward, the dynamics in the midfield are heating up. The two drivers are entering a corner now, and it looks like Koki Beninati is strategizing for an overtake on Buconshaw. In the meantime, at the front, the leader is maintaining a steady pace, while the third-place driver is holding off pressure from the fourth-place car. Overtakes are becoming more frequent as drivers adjust their tactics, particularly in the tight turns. Back to Koki Beninati, they've made a move. They're alongside Buconshaw, but there's a defensive maneuver executed that keeps them from completing the overtake. Very close racing. Meanwhile, Paulo Costanin is lurking behind, looking for any opportunity. As they approach the next section of the track, the tension builds with all four cars tightly packed. Koki Beninati and Paulo Costanin are rapidly closing in on Buconshaw and Johan Drago, reducing the gap by 8.2 seconds. In another part of the track, Gigaxp is gaining on Snaku 515 and SBS Tsumi 78, slicing 2.3 seconds off their lead. Meanwhile, the gentleman is also making progress, narrowing the distance to Rizaldi Adha and Seal 87 by 2.6 seconds. Positions are tightening as the race progresses. Etienne 1792 has significantly decreased the gap to Bobardo, now just 3.2 seconds behind. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 88 and Romanels are both gaining on Gigaxp, reducing their distance by 2.3 seconds. In the midfield, Shinigami and Amy has successfully moved up to position 22 after overtaking both Drenone and Maya Dada. The gentleman is now just 1.9 seconds behind Rizaldi Ada and Seal 87, with the gap narrowing steadily. The pace is picking up as he adjusts his strategy for an overtake. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha has maintained a consistent speed, but Seal 87 appears to be losing some traction on the corners. The dynamic between these three is becoming critical as they approach the next turn. Okioki 3 has significantly reduced the gap to Tenka Mainen 704, now just 2.1 seconds behind. The pace is picking up as we approach the final laps. Meanwhile, in the midfield, Speedster Mighty has successfully overtaken Gearhead 22, moving up into 6th position. The top 4 remain unchanged, but tensions are rising as drivers look for opportunities to gain ground. Kamikaze 38 and Romanhouse have successfully moved up to 15, overtaking Gexby and a quick maneuver. The two are now battling closely with Gegex for that position. Both Kamikaze 38 and Romance are piloting a Ferrari 50 GT, while Gexby behind the wheel of a Ferrari 288 GTO Evolution. The competition is tight as they navigate through the corners, maintaining their positions while looking for a strategic opportunity to push ahead. Toki Beninity and Paulo Costanin have successfully advanced to P25, executing a precise overtake on Bucrenshaw and Juan Drago. The maneuver was clean and well-timed, showcasing their strategic approach in the race. Sniku 515 and SBS Tsuma 78 have successfully moved up to P13, executing a clean overtake on N29 Kiat. This shift in positions adds to the competitive dynamics of the race as they continue to push forward. The gap between Duff Dad and Yuya John 7 and the gentleman from Team No Name Racing is now down to 586.5 seconds. Ken Kamina 704 and Okai Koki 3 are locked in a tight battle for 7, with positions remaining stable. Meanwhile, Bulinator and Short ETE are gaining on Wazirius Guy and Deplorable Eagle, reducing the gap by 4.9 seconds as they push forward. Positions are shifting, and the race dynamics are intensifying. The gentleman from No Name Racing is making significant progress as he narrows the gap to Rizaldi Adha and Lead 7 by 2 seconds. Currently he is in a solid position, gaining momentum and appears poised for a potential overtake soon. The dynamics among these three cars are intensifying as they approach a sharp turn. It will be interesting to see if he can maintain this pace and execute a successful maneuver. Temkaminen 704 has successfully moved into position 6 after an overtake on Aton 1792. The maneuver was clean, showcasing good timing and acceleration out of the corner. Aetion 1792 is now in 7th place, while the top 5 remain tightly contested. Okayoki 3 has advanced to P7 after successfully overtaking Wasirius Guy and Deplorably Apple. In response, Winserious Guy and Deplorably Apple have also managed to move up to P8 by overtaking N2, Top 292. Meanwhile, N29K is gaining on Kamikaze 38 and Romanovs, reducing the gap by 230 seconds. Wayne 94 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners is now just 63.3 seconds behind Aetion 1792 from Blue Star, steadily closing the gap. Meanwhile, the rest of the field is maintaining their positions with no major changes at this moment. The dynamics are shifting as Wayne 94 appears to be gaining momentum. Winserious Guy continues to lead the pack, closely followed by Deplorable Apple. Bayi Nauta and Short AE have made significant progress, reducing their gap to the leaders by 3.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Duff Dad and Useon 7 are also gaining ground on the gentlemen, closing the distance by 2.1 seconds. The race is tightening up as these groups inch closer together. Welcome back. Party Popper, we missed you zooming around here. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Automobile dashing away. Koki Benenati and Paulo Costanine have successfully reduced the gap to Jernon and Maya by 2.5 seconds. They are now only 3 seconds behind them, indicating a potential challenge for the positions ahead as they accelerate through the straight. The battle for overtaking could intensify shortly. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is maintaining their positions, but there are subtle shifts in car dynamics as strategies come into play. Koki Benenati and Paulo Costanine have successfully reduced the gap to Jernon and Maya by 2.2 seconds, indicating a strong push from both drivers. The two are now within striking distance as they exit the final turn. Meanwhile, Jernon maintains a slight lead but will need to defend against the advancing competitors. The race is tightening up as they approach the next series of turns. Aetion 1792 has significantly reduced the gap to Bullinator and Short to Fate, now just 2 seconds behind. Benenati and Polycostanine are also making progress, narrowing the distance to Dranon and Maya by 2-3 seconds. The race is tightening up as positions begin to shift. Coquinity and Polycostanine have successfully reduced the gap to Dranon and Maya by 2.2 seconds. They are now positioned just behind the leaders, intensifying their pursuit. The dynamic between these two pairs is crucial as we move deeper into the race. Bobado has just made a significant move, advancing to power after successfully overtaking Greninja. This marks an important shift in the race dynamics as they continue to jockey for position. The gap between Bobado and the driver in P3 is now less than a second, indicating a potential battle for that spot soon. Meanwhile, Greninja is falling back to 5, needing to regroup and strategize for a counterattack. Bullinator and Shorty have successfully moved into Pate, after overtaking Wazirius Guy and Deplorable Apple. The battle for Pate continues, with Bullinator and Shorty Day in a Ferrari F50 GT, while Wazirius Guy and Deplorable are in a Dawa 962 LM. Meanwhile, Benenati and Polycostanine are narrowing the gap to Dranon and Maya by 2.6 seconds, indicating they are gaining momentum as the race progresses. Okay, a quick recap of the last moments. Issy 1212 is gaining on Okayoki 3, reducing the gap significantly by 538.5 seconds. Benenati and Polycostanine are also closing in on Dranon and Maya, with a reduced distance of 13.3 seconds. Additionally, Aetion 1792 has made a notable move up to Pate after successfully overtaking Wayne 394. The race is heating up as these positions shift. Kamikaze 38 and Romanouse are making significant progress, closing the gap to Snaku 515 and SBS Stuma 78 by 35.5 seconds. They are working their way through the field efficiently. Meanwhile, N29 Kie has successfully overtaken Isiana 1212, advancing to P13. The race dynamics are shifting as we observe these changes in positions. Lord of the Jungle is now just 62.3 seconds behind Issy 1212, showcasing impressive speed as they close that gap. Thosol Kabigam Tlunville, Dochavi Kwan the game. In another battle, Okayoki 3 is gaining on Waintra 94, reducing the distance between them by 2 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as both Lord of the Jungle and Okayoki 3 make their moves to catch up with their respective competitors. The race is tightening up. Winzerius Guy and Deplorably Apple have made significant progress, reducing their gap to Rizaldi Adha and Seal 87 by 53.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Duff Dad and EU 7 are also gaining on Drenone and Maya, cutting down their distance by 119.1 seconds. In a more distant pursuit, Koki Beninity and Palakostanian are attempting to close the gap to Duff Dad and Use John 7. But it's a larger challenge at 598.2 seconds behind. The dynamics are shifting as positions tighten up. Tangaman in 704 is currently in pursuit of Babardo, significantly reducing the gap by 37.8 seconds. Reniap is also gaining on Tangaman in 704, narrowing the distance by 8.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Gagexby is closing in on the Gentleman, with a 59.9 second gap now being reduced. The dynamics are shifting as drivers adjust their strategies. Okioki 3 has significantly reduced the gap to Waintra 94, now trailing by only 3.2 seconds. Meanwhile, the Gentleman is also making moves, decreasing the distance to both Osiris Guy and Deplorably Apple by 3 seconds. The race dynamics are tightening as competitors push for better positions.